Hey everyone, it's Kay and welcome to Kay Crochet. Today we'll be making a really cute winter mitten. I'll be using this really nice trendy yellow yarn that's made from polyester. I have an unopened white version. I brought this one just to show you the yards. So this one is 220 yards or 201 meters. This is an already used package and it should fit for the mitten, so you don't need the full pack. I think we're only going to use about 100 yards. It's a size 6, super bulky, and requires an 8mm crochet hook. However, because I'd like tighter stitches, I'll be using my 7mm crochet hook. Alright, and let's get started. Okay, we'll be getting started with a magic ring. If you don't know how to do a magic ring, I'll link below my complete beginner guide to crochet where I teach how to do a magic ring and every other basic crochet stitch. So we'll start off with a magic ring. Into the ring, I'm going to put 6. And we'll be working in half double crochets. So all you're going to do is insert into the magic ring, yarn over. Oh, actually no, you're going to yarn over and then insert because we're doing a half double crochet, yarn over, pull through all 3, and then you're going to do that 5 more times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then last one, 6. Let's do that again. And then 6. Okay, now you're just going to pull the magic ring tight closed. Then you're going to find the first stitch. The way that I do this is I just count backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the first one. Put my hook back in. Yarn over. Insert, yarn over, pull through. So we get another half double crochet. And then we're going to go back to the same stitch and increase. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And we're going to repeat this 5 more times. So there's 2 increases now, we're going to increase up to 12. So that was 2. This is 3, increasing, so this is going to be 4. Another increase, 5. And then 6. Another increase, 7. And then 8. Another increase, 9. 10. And then the last increase into this final stitch. That's 11. And then 12. Okay, I'm going to go find a stitch marker and then put it into this last stitch. Okay, so for my stitch marker, I just like to use a loose thread. You can use whatever stitch marker you'd like. Pull it through. And then before we continue, I'm just going to count to make sure I have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Okay, so for the next round, we are going to do a single crochet increase all the way around. So insert my hook back in. And again, we're doing half double crochets all the way around. So yarn over. And it can be a little tricky to find these stitches in this type of yarn, but all you want to do is look for this crease right here, and that'll tell you that this is the front and that's the back loop, and it'll make it easier to work with. Alright, yarn over, insert your hook, and then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's going to be a single crochet. Next will be an increase. So we have 1, it's our second, we're increasing, so there'll be 3. Next is another half double crochet, just a normal one, then an increase into the next, then normal half double crochet, Pull some of my yarn out. Normal half double crochet. Now we increase. And then normal half double crochet into the next. And then an increase. Okay, my yarn is getting a little tangled here and not coming out, so I'll fix it and then finish the round. Okay, and now we're going to do another half double crochet and then increase. And then finally the last half double crochet increase right over here, half double crochet, and then increase into that last stitch for this round. Oh, that was a single crochet. Let's do that again. Okay, and since I'm using this, all I do, this is why I love using the excess yarn as a stitch marker, because I can just pull it up and then bring it back over here. Perfect. And I'm just going to measure it against my hand. I am liking the way that this is right now, so I'm going to continue just half double crocheting down. So the next row will be round will be a half double crochet. Then I'll measure it up against my fingers again and see if it's the same length that I'd like. So the next one will just be a half double crochet round. And let me count to make sure to see how much I have right now. I should have about 18. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, yeah, that's 18. And now just half double crochet all the way around. 1, 2, oh. This yarn is actually pretty tricky to work with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 19 into that last one. Okay, and then I'll measure it up. And it's looking fine right now. So what I'm going to do is I will continue doing rounds until I reach right above where my thumb is, so just about here. And then I'll come back and I'll tell you how many rounds that was for me. And for me that's also about, I would say, 8 centimeters down. So I'll keep continuing and I'll meet you back when I reach there. Okay, and now I'm back. So I decided to keep it even much smaller because this is for my sister and I thought we had the same hand sizes, but hers is much, much smaller. So for her, this is where her thumb meets. So if I was doing this for myself, I would do one more row. But if you're using this exact same yarn, I would actually recommend not going all the way to the end and leaving a little bit of space, because this one tends to stretch a little bit since it's such a thick yarn and it's pretty pliable. So now let's get started with the thumb. Let's go ahead and put this to the side. So I'm going to just put it over, bring over my big ball of yarn, and let's get started with the thumb. All right, nice magic ring, leave a little bit of a tail. I'm going to add 6 half double crochets into my magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, getting a little more, 5, and then 6. Perfect. Close her up. Let's see. Yep, that seems about right. And then I'm going to start in here and just do half double crochet again. Get some more yarn. My yarn's a mess. Gotta get some. Okie dokie. 1, so that's 1, this is 2. 3. Do that again. 3, 4, 5, and then I'm just flipping it over, and then last one, 6. All right, let's check. Yep, this one seems pretty snug. And then I'm just going to do 1 round, and then I'll see how much length that gives me. All right. 1, 2. It's because sorry, I keep having to look through the viewfinder, so I keep messing this up. 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then last one. Ay, ay, ay. 5. Oh my gosh. One more time. I'll go slower. 5. And then 6. All right, let me check that. Perfect. Let me bring back my here, and so it'll connect right over here. And you know what? I think I will go for 1 more. Let's move this mess. 1 more round, and I'm going to just do another 6 double crochets all around, and I'll meet you back when I finish this round. Okay, so now I have it right about up to here. And again, if I was doing this for myself, I'd probably add 1 more round, but I'm doing this for my younger sister who has much smaller hands. Okay, now we can attach them. I'm going to go ahead and fasten this part off. Or actually, let me see what we can do here. Never mind. We're going to go to this section, and I didn't cut this yet. You can go ahead and cut it. Just cut it. Fasten that off. And then using the yarn without cutting off from here, we're going to attach it. Let me get some extra yarn. Sure I have space. Okay. Here's how you want to attach it. Bring them both together. So this is the last stitch that we did on this hand, and then this is the fasten off, so you want to ignore that, that's not a stitch. And then you want to come to this next one. That's where we're going to insert. We're going to insert from here into here. So insert your hook like this, then take the yarn, and you're just going to do a simple slip knot. So you're going to take it from here, like that, and then take it through. Perfect. And then it'll attach right here. What you want to do is continue down on the thumb into the next 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. So we're going to half double crochet into the next 4 stitches. So that's 1. And I'm going to try to work this end into it too. So any loose end, try to work in. Makes it easier at the end. So 1, 2. Then I'll move this over here. I can cut it later. 3, 4, and then work the last one to the 5th. Except the way that we're going to work the 5th is that we're going to attach it using the 5th. Now we're going to half double crochet into the 5th. And then for the 6th one, what you want to do, just pulling out more yarn, what you're going to do is use it to attach. So let me try to, oh, it's blurring. All right. Insert my hook into the stitch for the thumb, and then into the stitch for the mitten, and then slip stitch. So I did yarn over, pull through, and then I'm just going to pull through. And that will attach it. So if you just go over here, there you go, it attaches it. Now I'm going to work down all the way to the end until I reach back to this stitch marker. So just half double crochets all the way down. And I will meet you back when I'm at the other side. Okay, now I'm back at this end. I'm going to move my stitch marker. And now what we're going to do is ignore this fasten off and continue stitching just across here. We don't stitch on this one, we just keep going around. So go on to that first one, into the thumb, then the second, third, and you just keep going around, and we can sew this later, this little hole. What you're going to do is you're going to keep going around. Again, we're not sewing into here. Around, 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 and you want to keep going until it reaches right up to here. So right above your wrist. For me, that's going to be about one more full round, and then we can start decreasing. For the next round, all you want to do is single crochet, decrease all the way around. I just finished doing a single crochet decrease round, except I didn't decrease on the thumb. So I just half double crocheted on the thumb, and then I continued with my half double crochet decrease. And now I'm just going to half double crochet all the way around. Okay, now we're done, but because I want to be even in the front, I'm just gonna half double crochet 4 more times just so that we are near the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just did 6. All right, and then you can just put it in on your hand to get the length. And again, it's a little small for me because for my sister, that's how it's looking so far. Now let's do the ribbing. So I am going to half double crochet 5 times. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Then I'm from the second chain of the hook. So we're skipping that first one, going into here. I'm going to half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 4. Okay, now I am going to slip stitch into, not the next one, but skipping one into here. Slip stitch, and don't worry, all the empty spaces, we're gonna go back and sew these together. Then I'm going to chain 2, turn my work, and half double crochet into the back loop only. So the back loop, as you can see, you just find the line and look for the loop that is furthest away from you. That's going to be the back loop. And then you are just going to half double crochet all the way down. 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then chain 2, turn, half double crochet into the back. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then once again, I'm going to skip this first one. Actually, this one is a little bigger, so I'm actually going to skip both of them. So I'm just going to align it. The best way to do it is to align it and see where this stitch sits. And since it sits right here, I'm going to skip 2 and slip stitch into the 3rd. And I'm going to continue doing this all the way down. So you will chain 2, turn into the back loop, and then chain 2 again, go back in, and then when you reach to attach here, you just want to align them and see where it aligns and slip stitch. And I'll meet you back when I finish all the ribbing around. Alright, I went ahead and finished all the way around, and now I'll show you how to sew it. So I have my large darning needle so that the yarn can fit through. Let's take it in. Usually I would flip this and then sew it on the wrong sides together, but for this one, because the yarn is so thick, we're not even going to notice it. You're not even going to notice the line of sewing, so I'm just going to leave it like this. You can choose to flip it over, but I find flipping mittens over really hard. Alright, so let's get both ends together. Insert it into both loops. Bring it over. Pull it. Same thing again. We go back down. Pull it through. Just like that. And keep going. Down. And through. I'm trying to get both loops, but it's okay. If you don't get both, it's fine. Okay, so we got this. Next one. Pull through. And then last one. All the way down here. And pull through. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go, let's see. No, I'm going to leave it like that, yeah. I'm going to bring this back up. This time through the back, I will go through the back. I'll just bring my yarn kind of in. I'll show you what I'm doing here. In and under, just kind of to lose it through. And then I want to bring it up right into where this hole is. But I don't want to pull too tight because that's going to pull the yarn all the way down. So just pull a little bit. The needle will probably come out a couple times. Just put it back in. Okay, now every time you see a hole, all you're going to do is put your needle through, connecting it from the ribbing, and then put it into the actual mitten, and then bring it. And then I'm going to sew it together again, just all the way down. Every time I see an opening, all the way through. Making sure that it's both the right ones together. Just like this, hole here, sew them together. Perfect. Even here, there's some holes too, even though this was connected. So I'm just going to sew around just while we're doing it anyways. There isn't a hole here, so I can just going to go under and go to where the hole is. Sew it closed. Hole here, so closed. I'm not going through both loops for this one. You can if you'd like. I'm just going through the 2 back loops, or whichever ones are closest to me. No hole here. So I'm just going to go in and out to where the hole is. Hole right here, go through. There's actually a hole here too, but this is just the holes of the actual like stitches from before, so we don't need to sew that close. I just want to sew the ribbing to the mitt. Right, almost done. Almost back at the beginning. Okay, last one. Sometimes if the holes are big, you just go over them twice and then it will close it. Perfect. Now all the way around, the holes are closed. What you want to do is I like to stick it back in. Bring it over. And then we're going to try to lose it in here. So all I want to do is just kind of go over and under into the stitches. Just kind of bring it. This is going to be over. I lost this again, so I put it through. Just kind of losing it in here somewhere. So just kind of going in and out. Anywhere you see fit. And then I'm going to cut it off. So I'm going to cut the loose ends. And any loose ends too, you want to sew them in if you can. For example, this one, I'll try sewing this one in. It's from before. This one is already sewed in, I remember, but I'll just take it out from here at the back and then I can cut it. Just going in and out. I don't want to go straight through. Okay, I'll just cut it from there. Let me find some scissors and I'll be right back. Okay, I went ahead and sewed everything. And try this on. Oh, actually, I'll take the stitch marker out. We don't need that anymore. Try it on. Now, all you want to do is repeat the exact same mitt pattern that we just did. And then, once you do, you'll have a second mitt. Here, the second mitt. And then, now we can go over how to design it into a little cute ducky. If you want to stop right here and just make these mittens, that's totally fine too. You can totally just stop right here. Alright, for this next part, you'll need a couple things. So, of course, your mitten. You will also need some black felt, orange acrylic yarn, or any orange yarn that is smaller and thinner than the one we used for the mitten. Mine is a size 4 acrylic. You will also need black sewing thread, and alongside the black sewing thread, you'll want a sewing needle. And then you want a darning needle when we attach everything together. And I'm going to be using, for the beak, the orange beak, a 3.75mm hook. If you don't have a 3.75, that's fine. Just anything that's smaller than a 7, and preferably anything smaller than a 5. All right. So I went ahead and cut out 2 circular eyes for the duck. This took me a while to get, so as you can see here, I did many pieces before I finally got the right shape. I don't have a Cricut machine, so I couldn't just cut it out, which I wish I could. But after toiling, I got 2 almost symmetrical eyes. It's okay if it's not symmetrical, it gives that handmade feel anyways. So let's start off with the first eye. I'm going to take some sewing thread. I'll use this one because I'm not out yet. Okay. I'll take my sewing needle and thread it in. See if I can do this through the viewfinder, and yeah, I can. Perfect. I'm not going to double thread it. I'm just going to leave it just like this with a loose piece hanging. Then, the way that I'm going to sew it is I will be inserting my hook into the yarn and then into the edge. Just focusing, let's see. Into the edge of the eye. Not too far in, just the edge. And then pull, 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 but you want to leave a little bit out. So I'm going to leave this part out, and at the end I'll fix it in. And then we're going to repeat this all the way around. So all you're going to do is insert it into the yarn. This yarn is really hard to get into, so just try to make sure that you actually are putting it into something. And then pull it through. My yarn just unthread, so I'm going to rethread it. There we go. All right, let's do that again. Insert and pull it in. Perfect. Just go slow with this part. It is going to take a while. I am going to sew all the way around And then I will come back to you when I'm near this part so I can show you how to weave this part in. Alright, so now when you get to about half, so I'm about right over here, so a little more than half, I'm going to bring this loose end and pull it under the felt. So you can see there's still an opening left here of the felt. I'm going to bring it under, away from the working yarn, and just kind of hold it here, and then I'm going to sew the same as I've been sewing before, and it'll just catch this and make it so that it doesn't come back out. So now this will stay put. As you can see, if I pull this back, it stays put. And I'm just going to finish this, do the other eye, and then come back. So before I finish off this second eye, I actually want to show you how I cut off the end and stuff. So we already did this one, so I can just pull this a little bit, make it taut, and then cut. And then for this part, all I do is I put it under the felt and bring it over to the next side and pull through. And I kind of do this a couple times until I feel it's pretty secure in there. And I try to, as I'm putting it under the felt, I try to pick up some yarn too. And then this will be the last one. I'm going to cut it. Actually, I don't like what I just did there, so I'm going to bring that back and I'll cut it from here. Alright, and I'll cut this. Snip, snip. Perfect. Clean up my station a little bit. And now we can move on to the beak. For the beak, you want to take your 3.75 millimeter crochet hook and your orange yarn. And then let's get started. Let's do a slip knot. Insert your hook in there. And then chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. What you want to do is skip the second chain from the hook. So we're going to skip this one, insert it into here, and we will be doing 8 half double crochets down. So yarn over, insert your hook into the second chain from the hook. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now for the next side, we'll be doing, so we're going to keep going around. So we're not going to chain 1, we're just going to turn our work and work into these loops. See these ones right here, how there's these ones that stick out? That's what we're going to work into. And we're also going to be weaving in this end as we go. So we will be single crocheting this time, 8. So not a half double crochet. We want this side to be longer and this side to be shorter. So let's do a normal single crochet starting from that same last stitch. So this already has a half double crochet in it. We're going to go in and add a single crochet. That's 1. And then I'm going to weave this in. So I'll just put it here and go into the next stitch, and I'll weave it in by putting it here and pretending it's like a loop. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll move this away and I'll cut it later. 6, 7, and then 8 into this last one. And then all I'm going to do is fasten off, so just kind of like a chain through, pull all the way through. Oh, this has a little knot. There we go. And that is the beak, just like that. If we bring over here, you'll see that this is how, now you'll see it kind of goes down to one side and goes up to another side. We want to make it have a tiny bit of a smile, so you'll turn it towards the one that goes up. So mine goes slightly up this way. I insert it over here, and now we're going to sew it. I'll be using a darning needle for this one right here. It's quite a small one, but I don't really have much in between darning needles, so just I twist it to try to get it in because it's really hard to get it in this really thin. Perfect. Here's what's going to happen. We are going to sew it onto the row right after. So this is the row of the eyes. We want to sew it in just about the middle of this row. What you're doing is you are attaching, actually let me cut this part off. Okay, you will be sewing into these backs. The reason why we're not going to be sewing into the loops is that we want to have this little beak shape. We want to have this upper and lower lip. And so I'm going to be leaving it just like that, so it looks like it has a little lip to it, a little beak. So the way that I do this is first, place it where you would like. Once you're okay with the positioning, insert it into the mitten. Since I'm using such a small needle, I have to make sure that I'm actually putting it in through a loop and not in between the yarn. There we go, so it slides smoothly in. Pull it, and then I go and I look for that end part that we talked about. So I'll be sewing right about here. It doesn't really matter, oops, not in the camera. It doesn't really matter where you sew, you just want to make sure that you're not sewing on the loops and that you're sewing into this back ridge area. And what I'm talking about is this lip. You're kind of just sewing and taking from this lip, but on the back side. So let me go ahead and do that from here. It's hard to do this on the looking through the viewfinder, so it might be easier when you do it, but I'm trying my best. So let's put this into here and then pull through. I didn't, because my needle is so small, I need to look for a bigger loop. That's, there we go, that should be, there we go. There we go. And I'm going to continue doing that all the way around until we reach back. So I'll just insert it into the mitten, then insert it into this back ridge all the way around, and I'll meet you back when I finish. Okay, so I went ahead and sewed it, and I'm just going to fix this little part of the mouth over here. This will have, because crochet is such a, like tension is such a huge thing, it can really change the way it looks, and I guess I just pulled it a little bit too tight here, so I'm just going to fix it all up by sewing it. So I brought my sewing up here. I'm going to bring it and just go through like so, pulling it back. And pull it up here. Just like that. And then I am going to do another. Alright, and I finished here, and I'm just going to cut my work by bringing the needle back up. And then pulling and cutting. Tension, pull, cut. Okay, and you're going to want to repeat this again for the next one. So I already went ahead and did that, and you can see here's mine. So as you can see with tension control and stuff, your beak will look different, but it's very cute. And make sure that you're not aiming for perfection, because with crochet, each one is just unique and cute. So this is how it looks at the end, and I'll go ahead and show some pictures of it in the little photo shoot that I did for it. Let me try these on a little bit. Oh gosh, they're so cute. They're actually really warm. This yarn is seriously so warm. You don't even need to put like a filler or anything in there. Alright, thanks so much for watching. And if you do make these, go right ahead and share them on Instagram and I will reshare it. And if you have any questions, you can also directly message me on Instagram and I will reply to any questions or messages you have about any of the patterns I have on here. Thanks so much and have a great day.